Hello, this is Dr. Paul Cottrell, and I want to talk about the Obama speech yesterday. He spoke at the convention, Barack Obama, and there are tones there that, if you go below the surface, are very communistic, very racial, and we're going to dive into it a little bit here. Before I do that, please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Also, make sure that you subscribe to all my channels. I have 4 YouTube channels. I have Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble. I also have X and GETTR, so follow me on those social media platforms. Also, follow me on Facebook. Why? Because I've noticed that people are getting notifications way after the premieres are taking place. So please make sure that you subscribe to all the channels so you can see the content. There is some sort of throttling that takes place with certain channels, especially because of my content. So please make sure that you subscribe to all the channels so you can somehow, some way, listen to it. I also have Podomatic podcasts, links in the description of this video. I also have podcasts on Apple Podcasts. Link is in the description of this video. So please make sure you subscribe. If you could, please donate to help support my work. I have thousands of videos for free, so you can understand about what's happening with the economy, with finance, what's happening with your health, and what's going on with the wars that are transpiring around the world. I'm very concerned about what's going on in Asia and in the Middle East, and how this is going to be a larger war. I've been saying this since 2020. So please go to my store and take a look at the products. So let's begin with the Fox News critiquing his speech, and I'll interject and give you my impression on this.
Who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day? From a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous. The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends. They understand that we can secure our borders without tearing kids away from their parents. As former president.
So here's the problem with Obama. All right, on the surface, we're going to dive right into this. So he's complaining about Trump and how he is belligerent, and he's just, just constantly being a voice out there that's bugging you. All right. The thing is that to break through the noise of communism and this reparations and some of these socialistic programs that are being promulgated by the Democratic Party, you have to be on the offense, not on the defense. You have to be aggressive with this. Now, it would be a little nice if Trump was a little bit more, quote, presidential or less bombastic, but he's from New York. That's how they speak. That's how things get done. All right. That's the way it is. Now, he should know that because supposedly he went to Columbia University for grad school. So I don't understand how he doesn't know that. Or was it undergrad and he transferred? I don't even know I don't know completely his story, but he spent time at Columbia. So with that, he brings up this idea. Well, you're going to control the borders. Trump is saying, this is what Obama's saying. Trump is saying that to control the borders, you have to close the border, and then the ones that came over illegally, you have to deport them. Obama, is making this fine nuance that if they have an anchor baby here, after they came over, illegally and they have an anchor baby, the baby is an American citizen and it should have all the rights and privileges of an American citizen. But the thing is that the parents didn't naturalize legally. They came here illegally, and they need to be held accountable for that. So Trump wants to send them back. Now, it's their choice to bring their child with them, and it still remains a American citizen, or the child stays here and goes through some sort of foster care. But either way, the parents made a decision to come to the United States illegally. Now, there are many ways that we could maybe mitigate this problem. One is, for sure, strengthen the border. Now, maybe we have a provision where if they don't have kids, we send them out. If they have some sort of record of social unrest, killings, or drug dealing or whatever, these individuals get kicked out. But let's say that they are, besides an illegal alien, and they broke the law by coming over the border illegally. Let's say they're somewhat a quote decent citizen, even though they're illegal. Maybe they get a amnesty, but it is an amnesty under certain conditions, and that amnesty could be, well, for the next 20 years, you are taxed at a higher rate because you came here using social services illegally. And so now it's time to repay that quote debt. If you don't want that, you can go back to your homeland and you're not taxed. Well, they'll say, well, we have children. Well, again, you have an option. Stay here, naturalize, pay higher taxes because of this illegal activity. This is your punishment, and you stay with your family. If not, then you go back home and the child will go into foster care. The point here is that you have to close down the borders, and you have to have some sort of punishment for the illegal activity from the illegal aliens. The illegal aliens, they came here illegally. Now, there are some that are coming here with some sort of asylum thing, but there's a process for that. Many of the people that are coming over here are just coming over here illegally. So there needs to be a punishment for it. That's either you're kicked out of the country, independent of if you have an anchor baby or not, or you go through a process where you actually have to pay more for the services that you used as an illegal alien. There are benefits that illegal aliens get in New York that citizens of New York don't get, or veterans don't get. So why are we giving them so much when our cities are decaying from within and have deficits? There needs to be a punishment. They made a decision to break the immigration law. They made a decision to break the immigration law. And if they get caught, there needs to be ramifications. Now, what are those ramifications? Give them some options. Deportation, stay, higher taxes, be naturalized, whatever. But there needs to be ramifications. You just can't just say, oh, everything's copacetic and, have a nice life and here's a driver's license and go vote and, you have citizenship. Because what that does is it rewards bad behavior and it sends a signal for other people to come to the United States illegally, and the same thing's going to happen. Now, the Democratic Party loves it because they're hoping that the barrier of language is enough where they will convince them to be voting Democrat. And so they're going to take advantage of them. And so what happens is the Democratic Party wants the black to stay on the plantation. That plantation in modern day times is the urban environment. And you vote as a black vote. And in this case, it's becoming a black woman vote. You vote as a block because you're on the plantation. That's how a Democrat treats blacks. But they're also treating these illegal immigrants in a similar manner if they elevate to some sort of voting status, because they're going to be wanting them to vote in a block and they're going to take advantage of their language barrier. That's the Democratic Party. Now, if you want to secure the border because of military, because of pathogens, and because of social stability within these cities that are being flooded, you have to close down the border, and you have to have some sort of punishment. They need to be punished. Now, you can give them a list, some options. Some are really good, some are really bad. But either way, they have to pay their way. They have to pay for their transgressions.
Last night, going after President Trump during his DNC speech, former First Lady Michelle Obama also attacked Trump. Michelle says it's all on the Democrats to get Kamala elected. Watch.
We cannot indulge our anxieties about whether this country will elect someone like Kamala instead of doing everything we can to get someone like Kamala.
The country is ready for a woman president. The country's ready for a minority president. We already had one. That's not the issue. Harris is a dumbass. And she's so dumb that she has to hide from taking questions from the press corps. That's the issue. Well, she was an attorney and she was a senator and she was a VP. What did she accomplish? Well, she was tough on crime. What has she done that actually made our society better? Urban environments that are shitholes are run by the Democratic Party. So why do we assume that giving the Democratic Party power in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, in the executive branch, the White House, and the judicial branch, that things are going to be better for middle America, rural America, urban America, WASP America? The white picket fence that everyone dreams of in the United States is going to be burnt down with policies coming from the Democratic Party because they're socialistic. That leads to inflation, that leads to a downward spiral where people don't get up and get stuff done. And there's going to be more and more of a desire for a handout. And I'm telling you, and I got to find it on CNN, but this is about reparations. And even Van Jones said this. He said it in a softer way, that we got to address the issues of reparations. That's how he phrased it. Van Jones on CNN. But there's undertones in their two speeches about reparations.
They are not perfect. And like all of us, they will make mistakes. But luckily, y'all, this is not just on them. This is up to us, all of us, to be the solution that we seek. It's up to all of us to be the antidote to the darkness and division.
Joining me now live from the DNC is Harris.
With ProPay, you can offer touchless payment options like ACH, mobile bill pay, or completely automated. We also offer next business
Joining me now live from the DNC is Harris Faulkner, the anchor of the Faulkner Focus. She is there broadcasting live from Chicago all week. Harris, it's great to see you.
Great to see you too.
How's it going?
All right.
You and I both know.
You know, Harris, black woman, educated, well articulate, has accomplished a lot because she worked. That's America right there. I'm telling you, the Obamas are pushing DEI, and we've seen DEI, and what happens? The corporate, follows a DEI pathway, and what happens is that the workers start to decline in productivity. The leadership, if they're DEI, drives the organization down a road where it's less profitable in many cases, not always, because it's about some sort of social agenda. Do you really want to make America socialist? Do you really want to make America like like some sort of communist country, a one-party country? It's a problem. It's a problem. The elephant in the room is reparations.
Go ahead.
You and I know we have a little bit of a delay. I was just going to say, you and I both know this. When you come to a place, it just changes your point of view about all the numbers and polls and everything else. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about crime coming up, but it's real here in Chicago. And to have them not even talk about that yet during the convention substantively, what's going on outside, is pretty unreal. I didn't mean to cut in, but I wanted to start with that because every morning we get the numbers.
Exactly, and it's happening also in New York. The reason why Harris says, "Oh, crime's down," is because they're not counting it. Because what's happening is that they aren't prosecuting these crimes, and they're classifying these crimes that used to be felonies into misdemeanors, especially with theft in New York. And these cities are run primarily by Democrats. These cities also have very strict gun laws. So I'm starting to get a sense that perhaps maybe having your city not run by Democrats is a good thing, because they bring destruction. Companies leave. There's too high of a tax on actually productive citizens. Now, stop pretending, because there's an awful lot of citizens in the United States that are not productive. That's a fact.
Things. And it's a lot, Maria.
You said something really important there, and I want to get back to it, because you're right. First of all, how are they completely ignoring what's going on outside? And number two, you said when you go to a place like that, you're in the middle of it, you tend to forget the numbers and you see what's going on. So I want to really tap into that. But first, I want to ask you about that soundbite we just played. Harris, we played Michelle Obama in her speech last night, and I don't know how it felt to you. You were there watching it live, but she said, they will make mistakes. It's on us. It's not just on them. I felt in some ways, to me, as I was watching it from home, Harris, I felt like she was basically telling us, okay, so she's a weak candidate. That's the reality of it, but she's not alone. We're going to help her. Is that what you heard?
Well,
that's exactly what most people heard, especially if they're coming from a conservative background. Because what it is that Harris is a DEI. That's exactly what this is. And the Obamas have a machine that is very strong, very productive, very, political. They have a political machine. It was strong enough to kick out the Bidens. And so what's really happening here is they're going to prop up Harris, the Obamas, and this is really a battle between Trump and Obama. That's what this really is. And Michelle Obama said, you know what, if someone has too much, we need to take away from them. She was raised in a household where, that they were focused on, they were trying to live a moral life, and but they were middle class, maybe lower middle class background, and they didn't have much. Okay, there's a lot of people that are like that. It's not just the blacks. All right, socioeconomic conditions for many different types of ethnicities are low in the United States. All right. So this socioeconomic issue isn't just a black issue. It's a white issue. It's a Latino issue. It's an Indian issue. It's for all different ethnicities. Now, if you want to look at absolute numbers, not percentages, but absolute numbers, there's more white people in poverty than blacks. Now, if you're looking at a percentage of their ethnicity population, ones that are in poverty per capita of a particular population of blacks, they're probably at a higher percentage. But in absolute numbers, there's more whites that are poor than blacks. But that's because there's more whites in the country. So it's a problem. There's a socioeconomic problem. It's not an ethnicity problem. We solved that a while back.
Things are spot on. And not only will they help her, she wasn't even there last night. She was in Wisconsin. She and Tim Walz, her VP nominee. They were doing a fundraiser, we are told. Look, the feeling right now is that people don't feel heard by the Biden-Harris administration. I don't know how that much changes under a Harris-Walz administration that's 31 days old in terms of just running. So if they can't get it together for the convention, how long will we have to wait for them not to make all those mistakes that we just have to sit through?
They're not heard because the Obamas are elitists. See, you have people that are promoting communism or socialism, the Obamas, the Democratic Party, but the ones that are on the platforms promoting it are all millionaires. And they benefit with ESG because of the way they position themselves. They benefit with controlling insurance companies because they position themselves to benefit from it. They benefit from moving people in the moving out of suburban and out of rural into the urban environment because they want to accumulate land for various reasons. They're trying to sell you a bill of goods so they get richer. You may get a little bit more, but it's all inflationary. So it's eaten up by inflation. But the big elephant in the room is the reparations. They're pushing for it. So Michelle Obama, she goes, well, the way she was raised, we were more, I'm paraphrasing it, we were more cognizant of, what we provide, and we didn't take too much. So the way she said it was much more articulate than I am paraphrasing poorly. But the thing is that she was focusing on that people that do well, the upper middle class and the uber wealthy, right? The upper middle class and the uber wealthy. She is in the upper middle class and almost to the uber wealthy. Uber is like billionaire, right? But upper middle class are millionaires, all right? Obamas are upper middle class now. All right. She's not uber wealthy. Maybe you may even position her into rich, low rich. or very high level of upper middle class. All right, depending on where you want the delineation point. All right, but she's doing really well. All right, but she's telling everyone else that has done well, and it's done well more than her, that they need to be more cognizant of what they've accumulated, and that if they have accumulated too much, then it needs to be redistributed. So it's all about redistribution. It's about redistribution. Let's say it with me, redistribution. With that redistribution leads to reparations. Because we need to right a historical wrong. We have to have a conversation about the legacy of wealth. That's what this is about. So they get away from it by saying, well, we're Black and we just became wealthy. But what about those whites that have had wealth for generations? We need to take that away. We need to go and tax unrealized gains in your portfolios to pay for our social programs that are non-productive. You want to know how fast the market will crash when that happens? Where you get taxed on unrealized gains? Think about it. Every year, year after year. How do you make any money then? You can't. Just take a piece of paper and figure it out. Take a piece of paper and say, if you invested $10,000 and it went to $20,000, so you have a profit, a paper profit of $10,000, and they tax you at 15 or 20% of that 10,000 of that unrealized gain of $10,000. All right, how do you pay for that? You're going to have to sell it. So your break-even point for each trade is going to be much, much higher. There's going to be so much friction in the financial markets that they're going to literally tax you to death. They're going to tax your 401k to death. Your retirement savings to death. The way it's supposed to work is that the realized gains, when you close a position, you close their portfolio or whatever you've gained is taxed. You've realized it. But not on an unrealized gain, because you don't know the next month it's going to go down. So they tax you at a high rate. Let's say you gain 10,000, they tax you at 20%. All right, so you give them $2,000, right, for your unrealized gain, and then the next month that $10,000 profit just went down to 5,000 because of the fluctuation of the market. How do you think people are going to feel about that? They'd be risk averse from trading. They'd be risk averse from investing. And the economy would be less productive. Once again, a liberal mentality, the socialistic mentality, is going to destroy capitalism. They're too stupid to fully understand the downstream effects of their policies. Now, there's others that just don't care, like the Obamas. Obamas aren't stupid, and they're powerful.
I mean, it is really a great point to showcase the fact that what happened to day one? Why is it even necessary, Maria, that we see such a complicit liberal and legacy media love fest going on with no hard questions from her, but also not the hard?
Because the liberal media is being puppet mastered by the Obamas. And I also think that the national security state really hates Trump. So it's a combination of the two.
Press on, why won't you take questions? Like if this were Donald Trump or any other Republican or conservative, they would have the countdown on 24 hours a day. Oh, they must be hiding something, whatever. Well, why can't we ask those same questions with the Democratic candidates? I think we can and we should,
Yeah.
and it's our responsibility as journalists to do it. But this is day one. This is day one reset. I mean, we've seen a rollout of Kamala Harris like 10 times since 31 days ago.
Yeah.
But it isn't. And Donald Trump has said it. The former president said her day one was 3.5 years ago.
Of course.
They ought to be ready for this.
Yeah, and for them to come out and say, we know how to secure the border. Well, then how come you haven't secured the border? I mean, in the 3.5 years, you know, they were acting as if they haven't been in power. Hope is returning. We don't want the chaos. You've been in power for the last 4 years. But let me get back to the crime and what you're seeing outside and the split screen of what's going on inside. They keep attempting to paint Kamala as a strong candidate on crime. President Biden accused former President Trump of lying about crime during his speech Monday night. However, just in Chicago yesterday, more than 70 anti-Israel protesters arrested at the Israeli consulate. They were clashing with police in full riot gear. Law enforcement arrested a murder suspect after a lengthy manhunt in a nearby suburb. The man barricaded himself inside of an office. And since the start of the DNC, at least 14 people have been shot. 5 people have been killed in the city.
Right.
The weekend headed into the convention saw 26 people shot, killing 5 of them.
City run by Democrats. You didn't have this problem during the RNC convention, but yet the media made it seem as though Trump supporters are the ones that are problematic for society. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the D3, vitamin D3. This helps to get rid of cells that need to go through apoptosis when they're infected. It also is a gene expression cofactor for good cellular processes, and it helps to absorb calcium. If you use the D3 and follow my protocol, you can actually reduce osteoarthritis, improve your bone density, and help to reduce cardiovascular disease. Please go to my store and get the resveratrol. This gets rid of senescent cells, really important. It's an antioxidant. It's part of my anti-aging protocol. I take it every day. You should be taking it every day. It's synergistic with many other things like C60 and with ubiquinol and NAD+, and a lot of the other things that I have on my store. So please take the resveratrol. It's important. It works better when you stack it. That's the key. You need to stack it. Probiotic. I have it in a powdered form, and there's a little scooper. You take a scooper a day. You just mix it with your food. It's a great product. You need a good gut biome for many reasons, for better absorption, better metabolism, better communication with your liver and your brain. And by having a good gut biome, you're going to have a better mucosal lining and a better immune system within your gut. So please go to my store and get the probiotic. I also have it in a veggie cap form. So please go to the store and get the probiotic. Take it every day. It's very important. Omega-3, important to control your lipid profile. That would improve your cardiovascular health. It'll lower LDL, it'll raise HDL, and omega-3 helps to prevent the red blood cells from sticking. That's important because there are clotting issues because of the 2020 post-crisis. So please go to the store and get the omega-3. I've been telling you this for 4 years. So get off your ass and go to my store and buy the products. Vitamin C. This is good for your immune system and for your skin. Take it every day. If you're not feeling well because of the cold season, take a double dose of it. Drink it with filtered water. Ashwagandha, really important to bring down inflammation and control your blood glucose levels. So please go to the store and get the ashwagandha root. It is synergistic with turmeric. Very important. Why do you want to control your blood glucose levels? Well, if you have too much glucose in your bloodstream, it's actually going to be inflammatory and cause damage to your intima of your vascular system. That's a problem. Turmeric brings down these pro-inflammatory cytokines. It'll bring down that chronic inflammation and help boost up your immune system. And it's an antioxidant. Very important. Clarity factor helps to get rid of brain fog and get those neurotransmitters firing. That means that you're going to have more robust thinking, You'll be able to concentrate better and have better memory formation.
Fox News poll finds voters trust Trump over Kamala Harris when it comes to crime. Is none of this being talked about on the ground there, Harris?
Well, not at the convention. I mean, the voters are talking about it. The reporters are talking about it, of course, because we see it. It's all around us, Marie. So I land on Sunday, and some of those 26 people shot that was already in play by the time I got here. And then just yesterday, we learned that on the first day of the convention, the first day, they had 3 murders and 7 shootings. I mean, you talk about numbers, that's how you get to 40 people or 109 people shot over July 4th weekend. I mean, it's like a slow movement, and you don't take it all in and then realize after a couple of days, this is happening all around us. They had a man who was held up in a barricade yesterday for hours with a gun. That was here. It was right outside the convention. I thought that must be I caught a little bit of it as I was walking through. The local news is covering all of it. I don't know how you don't mention how to make life better here in Chicago. You had Chicago's golden son on the dais last night at that convention,
That's
Barack
right.
Obama.
Yes, that's right.
And I now call him the closer, the commander and closer.
And that's why I think that this whole push out of Biden was months in advance. They knew that the convention was going to be in Chicago. They knew that Biden had cognitive issues, and the Obamas made their kill shot. They decided to take out Biden politically, do the coup, and launch Harris the best that they can in Chicago. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the Goodnight formula. That way you get the 3 cycles of REM sleep that you normally need per night. You get deep sleep. It'll help to detoxify your body. It will help to have more energy when you wake up and to solidify memory. Chronic sleep deprivation will age you, build up toxins, and you will eventually have earlier onset of dementia. So it's really important to get sleep. So go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the Goodnight formula. This has tryptophan and melatonin in it and several other ingredients. Take a look at the label. But this is a very good product. It's a safe product. It's a product that you need if you are not sleeping well. You need this product. So please go to the store and get the Goodnight formula. Vitamin B complex, really important for cellular metabolism. The first 5 B vitamins are really important for your mitochondrial health. You need mitochondria to produce ATP. You need lots of ATP for good cellular processes and tissue processes, organ function. And with a lot of ATP, you have a better immune system. So there's so many benefits of taking vitamin B complex. In addition, it's synergistic with other things like NAD+ and resveratrol and C60 because it's boosting up the health of the mitochondria. It's improving the cellular function. So please go to the store and get the vitamin B complex. It also helps with neurons. So if you want to improve your neural health, B vitamins are really important. Multivitamins, really important to take every day. Why? Because they're cofactors for the enzymes that your cells use for cellular processes. So go to the store and get the multivitamin that I have. It's easy to digest. Should be taking this every day. It's extremely important as a daily routine. And please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Link is in the description of this video. I say that like 1,000 times a day. And get the structural nano silver liquid. Take a teaspoon of this a day. You can get it in the max 35, max 14, or the structural nano silver solution, which is a ppm of 30. So I have these at different price points. Take a teaspoon a day. If you're not feeling well, take a tablespoon or two a day. You swish it in your mouth, gargle with it, 20 seconds or so, swallow it. It's maintaining a mucosal barrier, keeping your oral hygiene good, and neutralizing pathogens. Very important to do this every day.
Just close the door.
And how are the numbers looking? We're landing at a strong 70 SPF. Thanks.
Because it was his job to just close the door on Biden. Too bad it wasn't his job when he was in office not to close the door on crime, or at least draw attention to it in his own home city. And he missed that opportunity again last night. Look, she's not day one ready to fight the kind of crime that we're seeing here. It's worse here than it is in New York, at least statistically. It's less random here, perhaps, because it is in some certain concentrated areas. But murder is murder. And anybody can be a target. And we're seeing those numbers tick right back up. And it's really, really disconcerting when you're in the middle of it.
So do you believe these polls? I mean, given the backdrop of Kamala Harris's leadership and what it has led to, wide open border, inflation 40 years.
And what did Obama also do? Weakened our military. And we're going to have a damn Navy war with the Chinese. And we would have been on a better footing if we invested in the Navy during the Obama administration. We might lose the war with China because of Obama. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the deodorants that I have. I have a citrus deodorant and a peppermint, lavender, and tea tree deodorant. These deodorants that I have are made from essential oils from the Himalayas. They have no aluminum in it. They have no baking soda in it. They're all natural, very high quality, and it's a dual purpose product. This product will help, of course, to keep you fresh and smelling nice, but it also detoxifies your body. So please get a couple bars of the citrus or peppermint, lavender, and tea tree deodorants for your household. It's for males and females. It's a very high quality deodorant, and it'll also help to detoxify your body. I believe in providing multi-purpose products. I have an Even Better bar, which is an all skincare bar. You apply it on your skin. It'll help to make your skin smoother, softer, and there's a little bit of a glow on your skin. In addition, you can put it on a bug bite. It'll stop the itching of the bug bite in about 30 seconds. You put it on a sore muscle, it'll alleviate the soreness of the muscle or eliminate it in about 120 seconds. And, you know, some people even apply it on their temples if they have a headache to alleviate the headache. In addition, you can put it on eczema and psoriasis to try to mitigate that issue. If you have a cut, an abrasion, or a minor burn, it'll help to heal that quicker. So please go to the store. It's a multi-purpose bar. All right, go to the store and get the Even Better bar.
$7 trillion in spending. I mean, do you believe the fact that these polls say they're so close? And what do you feel you've learned by being on the ground there? Is there anything that you feel differently today after watching all of this play out these last couple of nights?
Well, one thing that's different in past years, like 2016, 2020, is that people will talk to you about how they feel. So I think it's not just disingenuous. It's a lie.
Yeah.
When these leaders in the White House, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, say that they don't know how people feel and that suddenly it's news to her. You know how the polls are being impacted right now? They have a complicit legacy and liberal media to help them out.
That's right.
I mean, that's playing a role. And look, there are questions about, even with all of that, why is it so close?
Yeah.
Why can't she pull away? Because people see the truth, they're living it every day, and they still feel unheard. She hasn't, and look, I don't.
The bottom line is that the Democratic Party is pushing communism and pushing socialism. They really don't care about the average citizen, because for them to get power, they have to take power away from the citizen and weaken the country economically. So vote for Trump, because I'm telling you, the Democratic Party is going to try to push reparations and destroy the economy and weaken our military. The Obama administration has weakened the Navy where it is problematic on how we may conduct a war with China when they continue to project their military on the first island chains. That's a major issue that people need to pay attention to. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Get the products that I offer. Please share the links. Please donate. Please follow all my channels. All the links are in the description of this video. Help support my work so we can save our country. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.